and Briggs had gone to Dartmouth, and one of his closest friends had been a football player by the name of Ray Halsart. And Ray Halsart and Guy Briggs were downtown the night that the Boston Bruins lost their playoff series for the Stanley Cup. And Halsart and Briggs got mixed up with almost the entire Boston Bruins team, including probably the ruggedest man who ever played hockey, Eddie Shore. And Eddie had been boasting, Guy Briggs had been boasting that he knew Canadians well. He roomed with a Canadian. In fact, by golly, he roomed with the strongest man who ever came out of Canada. And Eddie Shore says, well, I've got $500 in my pocket that says he isn't the strongest man that ever came out of Canada. Make a long story short, I was summoned down to meet. I was lured down because all these guys want to meet you as a Canadian, and they're all just great fellas and having a great time, and I know you're an admirer of hockey. Come on down and join us and have some fun. Well, when I got in, instead of finding the good-natured crowd I found a kind of a sullen group. They were kind of angry at having been beaten, and they were more than a little put out by this, oh, it's starting to flash, okay, by this, and Guy was a big man, and Ray Halsart was a lineman from Dartmouth, and he was a big man. And here's this little Gay Duncan comes in, supposed to be the strongest man that ever came out of Canada. And at one point, Eddie Shore went for me. And this was after we'd been chatting about things, and I was trying to be friendly with him. He went for me. My head went under his arm. Briggs grabbed one shoulder. Halsart grabbed the other shoulder, and for some reason I got both hands around one bicep. And honestly, if you've ever felt a telegraph pole, that was it. Oh, the other members of the team who were a little less under the influence than Eddie was at that moment, and a little less hostile, calmed Eddie down long enough for Halsart and Duncan and Briggs to get the hell out of there, and we did in a hurry. Oh,
that's it.
That's it. Bromont was one of the fun things in my life, and a group of us put a very great deal of work into it, and some money. And it started with a conversation between Roland Deserty, head of the fabulous Deserty family, and Jack Jackson, who was head of my company and my buddy, and started over a conversation that, you know, they are going to build an Eastern Township auto route. Isn't there something that we can do to capitalize on this event? So that led to a syndicate consisting of the Deserty family group and the Mussons group. The Deserty family group included a little more than the Deserty family. They had a couple of good friends of theirs, a consulting engineer by the name of Ducharme, and oh golly, a long-time resident of Iron Hill, which is the backside of Brome Mountain. Selwyn Jones, and then members of the Deserty family. And the Mussens group was consisted of 20% of the action Wally Bird, 20% of the action Jack Jackson, and 10% of the action Gay Duncan. So we had 50% of the action, and the Deserty group had 50%, and we put in enough money to seed the thing. And we started buying farms. We wound up buying 16 farms for a total of nearly 5,000 acres of land. We got together with the authorities of the Otterroot Authority, and as a matter of fact, they asked us where would it be convenient for the right exits to be put in the area of Granby, West Shefford, because where we were buying up farms was in the West Shefford area, which is not far from where a logical turnoff into Granby would be. So we suggested two places which were adopted and are in place today. One is known as the Bromont turnoff and the other is the Granby turnoff, but it also allows you to get into Bromont from the west end of Bromont. We applied for and received a charter for a city. We had no population except a few farms. Roland Deserty, a fabulous man, a much maligned man in many places because very much misunderstood, because he was a mover and shaker and wanted things done, and wasn't forever forgiving of someone who stood in the road of progress. Not his particular progress, progress for the area. He also was a man dedicated to rapprochement between the French and the English. And he also was one of the best mayors Eastern Canada's ever had. He was mayor of Cowansville and was matchmaker of the wedding between Sweetsburg and Cowansville, and that was a very progressive move. He did a great deal for that whole area, and amongst the biggest things he did was he created the industrial park for Bromont, and today that industrial park is populated with some of the world's leading edge, high technology, high performance plants, one being IBM. And in their worldwide network, IBM match productivity of each of their plants against some norm. And the highest standing productivity plant that IBM has in the world is their Bromont plant. Along came another high-tech plant, I can't think of it right now. Then came General Electric with a huge plant to manufacture turbine blades for their aero engines.